Okay. Is it working? Is it working? Yep. That is a yes. Okay. First time I've used this program, I have no clue what I'm doing. Shocking, I know. Anyways, back to trying to identify what nozzle this is. Okay, so I got this at filament 1. That's all I know. So first we'll go through my email. Why not? Got another 2-liter nozzle thing, spike thing printing behind me. Okay, so this is a 0.8. So, guide. How to read E3D nozzles. There we are. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 dots is a 0.8. 1, 2. So, yep, 0.8. Okay. I need a label machine. That's what I need. I am not going to run that yet. But I don't want to lose it. Where have I been putting nozzles? There. I need a sticker board. I need to make a sticker board. That's an idea. What to use as a sticker board? Those work. Those will work really well, actually. And make a frame for that. Yeah, that's the ticket. So let's open up good old Tinkercad. Wrong URL. Go away. How did that come up? Go away. Oh, interesting. Okay. What are the dimensions? "24 centimeters, 240 millimeters." Ooh, I can't print that on my printer. Maybe if I go diagonally. 240. Can't print flat unless I build the under extender, but I can print diagonally. Okay. So 240 in height. Trying to use the, yeah. Zoom. Oh, that's my edges though. So if I wanted to make this an actual frame, I need to have fun at least another 10 millimeter. Okay. And I need a mouse with a middle button. I'm gonna see if I can find one. Whoop. Amazing, I actually found the mouse for my Wacom tablet. Haha. Oh, wow, and it's slow. And it doesn't move the whole screen. And the middle button doesn't do what I want. That's worthless. Okay. What did I do with the double A's? And I have been talking to a mute button the whole time. I cannot get this mouse to sync. Annoyingly, as it is. Print's going decent. Yeah, let's pull that up on here. OBS. I'm going to put this up while I'm looking for my mouse cable. Well, it seems I have lost that cable. I hope I've got another one that'll work. The heck was that? That was a sound I don't recognize. What was that? Oh, hey, Vince. Hey, Vince.
Are you streaming on YouTube or just a private chat?
Oh, it's on YouTube. Channel, here you go. Here's the link if you want to share it out.
I kept looking for something to pop up and I didn't see anything. And
yeah, it's my new channel.
mm.
I decided I wanted to get into doing some Tinkercad stuff on my laptop here while I'm streaming, and I lost the cable for this mouse, and the Bluetooth won't sync for some reason. Oh, I just connected something to it, but I don't know what. It definitely was not my mouse.
Well, what's the YouTube channel?
Zolan's Shop of Wonders. Just started it up. I figured I'd make it my YouTube channel where I do my 3D printing stuff and my vinyl cutting and all my projects. Oh, hey, Justin. Oh, and apparently dumping that went into public chat. Whoops. Whatever. I am new to using StreamYard. I've only been never been the host.
All right, now you have 3 subscribers.
Cool. Yeah, I got 20 on my other channel, but I got political stuff on the other channel, and I didn't want to cross the stream, so to say. Who are you? Nope, you're a C. That won't work. And that's all ham radio chargers.
You know, watching another person stream. They're working on their pushing up Mark 2.5. They gobbed up their hot end with Pet G, and well, they're trying to get it cleaned and put back together. But unfortunately, he got the wrong kind of.
And of course, it is a special cable. I need a 3-button mouse is my problem. Let's see if
I got a drawer full of mice.
For some reason, mice and me don't get along.
That's why I have a whole bunch. I pick them up everywhere cheap. I either get them from like Micro Center or thrift stores and stuff. Especially if I find anything that's a Logitech that actually has the unified adapter. Because then you can use it with any Logitech. And I think you can actually pair up to 6 different devices on one little USB unifier. So whenever I find those at a thrift store, it's like a gold mine.
Now, unfortunately, because of my hand size, I normally buy really big mice. Okay, time to steal the mouse off my desktop, and I'll just move it back to it when I'm back at it. Yeah. Oh, it's going all the way to the back of the computer. I can't get to there. Good, that was empty. Where are my USB ports? A cable that feels like... There it is. That one. Yay, I unplugged the right thing. Tablet, go away.
I got just a smidge over an hour left on that part. I started printing this little Millennium Falcon. I had a friend that's really big into Star Wars, and I figured, well, I'll print one out for him. And if I like it, maybe I'll print another one out for myself, or print a bigger one. At least I can see how this particular model prints. Well, it's got separate pieces for the landing gears and the little ramp for boarding and stuff.
I am very new to Tinkercad, so.
Oh, I love Tinkercad. Actually, I made this little like a single bay fire station lithophane box. Got a nice little top. The top I used Fusion so I could trace the outline of like a mantle clock, because I thought that would make a cool topper. And I modeled in on the all the groove lines for the bricks for the blocks and stuff. That was a pain, but got that done and got it deep enough that I could put an LED light in the back to backlight it to light up the lithophane. And I made one, but I've got some different filament I want to use and make another one.
So what I'm trying to do, what I'm going to do is I got a 24 centimeter square of acetate here, and I was going to make a frame for it so I can start building a sticker wall.
Yeah.
But, you know, I have actually done some things in here already. Here. So, like, my most proud one right now is I made this for my wife.
Oh, shoot, I didn't even think about that. I could pull up Tinkercad and share my screen, and then you can see what I'm talking about.
But I did this, as you saw on Twitter not that long ago. And the dog cutout is actually a SVG that I created long ago.
Now, see what I've done, I made like on the front of our fire helmets, the little leather shield that's on there. So I took that general design and I used it, and then I made a square, and I used it also as a cutout. So then so when I created the lithophane before I printed it, then I went in and I was able to take then the cutout square, lay it over it, and cut everything around it, so the lithophane actually printed in the shape of the helmet shield. And then I would take I basically modeled a box that was in the shape of the helmet shield, with the lithophane being able to slide in the front where I had like a little bit of an offset to catch it, so it could only slide in so deep. And I had snap fit backing, because the tolerances is so well that I could get it right where I need it, and I can just snap it right in place, and I didn't have to worry about any screws.
Oh, if you want to show it, I'll pop it up here.
Yeah, I gotta log into it because I haven't logged into Tinkercad for a bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my chops up some in Tinkercad, and then I'm going to move to Fusion 360.
That's kind of where I'm at. It's more of a...
I haven't. Last time I used a real CAD program was junior high.
Old parts. Let's touch on and let's make sure that the part is in. It's going right there. All right. Yeah, all my maker coin, my little fidgets, or
Oh, hang
not
on, hang on.
fidget spinners, but I made I was playing around with one of them earlier. And I actually designed it as a print in place. It's a little Maltese cross with a star of life in the center, and it spins, and it's just a print in place. Just print it, break it loose. And then I turn around and modified it so that I could take the solid layers for the center, top and bottom layers off, and then just let the infill all the way through.
Oh no.
That came out pretty cool.
Remove. Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to make your screen bigger, but
You know how many people are even watching?
it's just me and you at the moment. Ah, there's the button. Okay. Now maybe I can see what you were trying to show.
All right. Well, let me start from scratch.
Yep.
All right. So a Maltese cross with a star of life, little spinner.
Nice.
I was trying to take it and put my logo on it just to play with it, but a little hard. My original maker coin, the 3D focus, I had that actually tilt outward just for the effect. But then same thing with the spinner. But I left the top and bottom layers. Yeah, I left the top and bottom layers off. There you go.
Nice.
So that the gyroid infill would show through. I printed a bunch of these to give out at Murph.
And then Murph didn't happen.
Huh?
And then Murph didn't happen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So
Next
now
year.
I have stickers but as far as wait for it to.
I got one person watching, it looks like.
Well, it's probably me because I've got it running basically view time. So I have YouTube running as well. I got to wait for Tinkercad to do all its compiling of the
parts.
Yeah. It's probably like, geez, well, Pete, the last time you worked on this thing was 6 months ago.
Oh, there we go. I'm actually doing a Google remote desktop from this laptop to my big desktop, so that way I can control everything. I get better audio and frame rate off of the other one. This laptop's like 6 years old now.
Voice thing is still compiling. See, unfortunately, the actual printed one is sitting in storage in a box,
Okay.
which at that point is easier to show the lithophane part because that's I can actually shine a light through.
Right.
All right.
I think a lithophane was my 5th print I did. But I got into 3D printing in last July, so lithophanes became real big about that point on Facebook. Hey, Chris. Pink.
That was interesting.
I now have you here twice, and one of
Well,
them's frozen.
I told it to share my screen, and all of a sudden, the entire Windows or the browser just disappeared.
Okay.
So try this again. Well, it even comes up when it says screen sharing, and it talked about Chrome has a bug,
Yes,
but I'm
it
not
does.
using Chrome. I'm using Edge.
Well, Edge is a problem, but yeah, it threw the same Chrome error message on me, and I'm using Brave.
I'm going to hit this again for share screen.
Might have lost you again. Yeah, I lost you. The light isn't even changing on his glasses. He'll be back. Apparently, that bug that they're talking about when you hit share screen actually impacts him. Garbage. Well, since I've got it up, I might as well. Let's see here. I gotta redesign that panel anyways. Come on. There we go. Don't break. Don't break. Sacrificial butter knife. Come on. There we go. Oh, there he is.
I'm
Had
going
to
to try
stream.
it on the Chrome browser and see what happens.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, careful. Ooh, that's a mess. Sounds like it's not liking your browser at all, no matter which one
No,
you use.
No, I haven't been in Tinkercad on
Oh, so you
this
got to go through the whole
browser. So
login process and everything.
yep.
Okay, so I need.
Yeah, the goal is to have it as a backup. That way, depending on whatever happens, one browser goes down, I'm in the other.
Right. Dude, don't text and drive. Talking to Chris.
Actually loaded in pretty fast.
Wow.
Okay, minimize the old one. Go back to here. Hit share.
And it locked up again. That's weird. Boop. Add to stream.
Yeah, it's not going to share. It
It
keeps
don't like that.
crashing. Yeah, both on Chrome and on Edge.
And that
So
was that with Streamlab in Chrome as well?
yep.
Hmm.
I mean, I have other options. I mean, there's always things like Mozilla,
Or Firefox.
Chromium.
Oh yeah, you're on a Mac, right?
No, I'm on a PC.
Oh, you are on a PC. Okay.
So Microsoft Edge, Chromium, Firefox,
Oh yeah, if you have Edge, you have to be on it. Durr.
Google Chrome.
There is a hawk in my front yard, I think.
Firefox.
Yep. Yeah. Leave my kid. Just had a hawk swoop down and try to grab one of my ferals. I have to put it
I
right
will be
between.
curious how this works.
Of course, that's the one with the dead battery.
Apparently, I haven't used Firefox in a long time either.
No, that isn't a dead battery. That is an outright missing battery. Oh, I thought I had an extra one in here. Oh, I do. It's right there.
Well, I found that confused Tinkercad when I'm like, how many accounts and browsers are you using? I'm logging in from 3 different ones.
Okay. 45.6.
Let's see. Exit out.
$21.8. Oh. And he disappeared again. So it needs to be in between those. Oh, there he is. And
We'll
add
see
the
how long
stream.
this lasts. All right. So now in Firefox, let me see. Screen share. Share screen. Select a window or screen.
Oh, you're still moving.
Yep. I'm trying to find out when it's
Center at 33.5.
that.
Oh, there it is.
I'm going to have to pull up on my phone so I can at least see.
It's like a mirror box from hell.
All right, now I can watch on my phone, and then I can go back to here. So anyway,
Okay.
so I'm gonna get this box to get rid of. So I started out after measuring how big I wanted things. I started out with this little brick pattern,
Okay.
and so I had to go through and create the pattern because the pattern actually sinks in, and
So you took a bunch of
just a bunch of lines and wrapped them around.
Yep.
Connected them, and then I just duplicated them and went up. But as you can see, they actually cut in just like a millimeter, I think. But it gives me the block pattern.
Right.
So I got that, and then I threw on a ladder, a fire hydrant, and a back plate, which slides off. Hold shift down so that way I go uniformly.
Right.
So I have.
Thankfully, you can always just hit Control Z.
Yeah. So I got like I said, it's got a little bit of a lip, so it sits right in there and it just snap fits. Same thing with the top here. Now the top.
Okay, I do need to stop you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get those? Are those rulers? What are those? The lines that are showing you how far away you've moved it and are still there?
Over on the right-hand corner top, you have a ruler, and then you just drop it where you want it, and you can change the direction.
Right.
And you can also
And so from then on, anything you move around that ruler, it shows you the distance.
From this, like from this point. This is my anchor point where I'm measuring from, right there on that corner.
Cool. Okay.
So that makes it easy for when I want to place things, how far I need to be when I move things back and forth.
Right.
But yeah, that's what the ruler. And then when you hit it, you can tell it. Basically rotates where it's measuring from. So like here, it's
Right.
measuring out this way with this corner being 0. But
Hence the negative measurement because you moved it back.
yeah, because I moved this backwards. So yeah, that's
Okay.
just right there up there where the ruler is. And same thing with the work plane. So if I wanted to, if I was working on this work plane, but now I wanted to do something here, then I can select work plane and set the work plane in a different area and work from there.
Right. And that's what I normally end up doing.
Now,
Because I haven't had luck with the ruler, but I didn't know about setting the anchor point.
yeah, well, what's nice with the ruler is because you can also change from, like, this is using the midpoint between, it'll give you the distance, it'll um, midpoint and endpoint, so you can have it measure a distance either to the center of the object or from the whole length. It just made it easier for me to make my measurements for like how big, and then line everything up.
Oh yeah.
So I have the main brick, I've got the ladder, the hydrant, the back plates. This is actually, there's a lip. Probably too far to. Yeah, I'll have to pull it out from the other side. Anyway, so the lithophane, like in this case, the lithophane was made to be a certain size to fit right inside between the gaps. So I had to measure everything, and then knowing um, the tolerance that my printer has, so I can size it so that it just basically snaps in place. So
Right.
it's a pressure fit.
Kind of like how my box is.
Yeah. So I'll take that, and then I will move that way. And then I
And
have,
you did, so you put a lip in so you can't push it too far.
yeah, the lithophane is 4 millimeters thick, and the lip only allows it.
Whoa.
Congratulations, I didn't, huh? Okay. All those little helper apps, like if you go to YouTube and you want to click on the video and download it, apparently all that stuff started updating. So anyway, the lithophane is 4 millimeters thick at its thickest. So I had it to where I could slide it in 4 millimeters, so it's relatively flush with the front. And then on the back, I can run a that back there. On the back wall, I can run like a little strip of LED lights, and if I wanted to, I can put a little cutout notch and then just run a wire out so I can plug
Right.
it in. Because I've got some 5-volt USB lights that I can just wire up say a cord from an old mouse.
Right.
Yeah,
Kind of like how I'm powering the fan from my case here off a hacked up USB cord that's going to a 5-volt Noctua.
yeah. I do similar things where I just rig some stuff up just to get connections. Most of the time they're just temporary. I got a computer case fan sitting next to me hooked up to a 12-volt wall wart just to blow some air. And it's it's a quiet fan. It moves enough air to be comfortable, but I had all the extra fans. But now the top was done. Like I said, what I did is I took a picture of a mantle clock that I saw at a thrift store because I like that shape. And then I just basically, did the tracing in Fusion and then created a box out of it.
Okay.
And that way I could have the thickness and everything. So then I had my letters and shape and I used them to cut through.
Like I did the Samoyed.
Yeah. Now this red here, what I then did was I made an inside plate um, here.
So the letters will go red if your light's in
Yeah,
there.
I have some red translucent filament. The ideal was um, I wanted this to glow
Ah, okay.
and the letters to glow, but nothing else. The problem is the first one that I put together, I basically had the shell and had this, but what I did not have was a black
An
cutout.
opaque layer.
Yeah, a black cutout with the letters and stuff, so it would block. Because otherwise, it made the whole front kind of glow with a little bit of a red tint. Because this, what I did for the top is I used Zyro's marble filament,
Okay. Yeah,
so
I
it
actually
gave
like that filament.
yeah, it gave it a really nice look. But unfortunately, the red, because I wasn't like painting them, so the red was just a I don't want to say bright red, but it was basically a red filament from Maker Geeks, which now I've got a roll of Heritage Brick, which actually has kind of a clayish feel to it.
Okay.
So I want to print one out so that way it kind of has more of a bricky look, and then have the marble top, and then basically have it to where the cutouts and stuff. So this pretty much is the model, and I mean it works great. Everyone who's seen it likes it. This was a lieutenant of ours who retired, so I just since he was in a Class A uniform, I just basically took his photo, turned it into lithophane, and then I just took his name
What
and
is his
then
name?
just lower it into where it would be white by changing that thickness. And I mean, it looks great. It looks like a little when the light hits and stuff. It looks like a I don't want to say black and white photo, more like grayish. But
Yeah.
you do get the contrast, and like a black and white photo. So it turns out really nice. And then I've been toying around with other light sources, like let's see, things like these you can get. Oops, I'm waiting for myself to come back in.
Yep.
But things like
A
this you can get for
diffused
like
light
dollar
strip.
store. Yeah, just something where I could just take the little LED lights and then just mount that little cob strip on the back. I've actually used some of those USB ones that just has the little LED lights and just plugs into a USB port, and you can dim it and brighten it by touching it.
Right.
So I've even played around with some of those as lighting sources. But yeah, this was a fun project to do, and it's just nice, like if you wanted a picture frame type thing. I even thought about if I really wanted to get fancy with it, with Arduino stuff, um, make a a 3/4 like circle tube with
Hmm.
black filament, have a servo that can rotate it around and have a light in it, and then basically as the opening starts to come down or up, depending on how you said, actually probably facing down, so the light would be here, and then as it starts to rotate up, then the light fills up the whole thing. So it would almost look like if the bay door was going up, and then you'd see the photo,
Oh, okay.
and then maybe have. I even thought maybe I could modify the hydrant to be like a little push button. You can push the button down, it would activate that. You would hear like sounds of doors opening and people getting in the truck, starting up, and then firing up the siren, and maybe have some like flashing red and white lights in the background that would just toggle real quick for a moment.
Oh, yeah. You could actually do that in the logo with the red.
Yeah, I mean, just all kinds of stuff, and it's just I think the box is only 62. So, um, yeah, so I mean, it's just the right depth for LED light strips to put out enough light, and sometimes you might have to use a little bit extra. That's why I'm still playing around with a kind of a light source that's going to put off enough light. Um,
Without being a point source.
yeah, without having where you can see like the little dots of the individual LEDs.
That's actually been one of my biggest issues in my projects. Is I've actually been looking at printing just a lithophane, but with nothing in it to use as a diffuser panel so it to go in front of the LEDs.
Well, you don't have to fill the thing. You just print out a
That's what I mean. Just
like a point two
yep,
or 0.4 flat
sheet.
piece of plastic. Yeah, that's what's kind of nice with the translucents too. Is you can use them to like color accent.
No, did I ever show you the rubber duck I printed for my wife? I
No.
used the zero. Uh, actually, I have the filament in the box right here. I used. Go back to that view. That is a red sparkle.
Mm-hmm.
That with the thickness I did, it almost looks like blood
Mm-hmm.
red, and it's a devil duck that I printed her, so it worked perfect. But because it's slightly translucent, when I put it on a light,
Mm-hmm.
it has that Halloween glow effect.
Yeah, now I've got some like with some of the Pet G's have kind of a translucent look to them.
Yeah.
So I've got like a translucent orange. I want to say maybe a translucent. Oh shoot! I got so much. Gotta get through. Regular PLA. I've got a translucent white, um, which is almost clear. Green, red. I think I got a translucent purple,
Yeah,
and
the
then
brown
some of
Santa truck showed up.
the.
3D fuel, some more iron red. My favorite filament, flat out. One of the 2 boxes they sent me last time was brighter than normal, so they sent me a new one.
Yeah, that little spinner that I made because I can resize it.
Oh yeah, hang on.
Oh,
There you go.
but yeah, I just basically designed it with like a little peg and stuff, and then I just had to make the peg a little bit smaller, like 0.2 smaller on each side, and it just prints and sits in there. And then now when I print it out, I'll print thick like a 0.2, 0.3, whatever, up to about that point of the base, and then I'll
Right.
switch to like a 0.01 to the top of the circle, so that way the pegs themselves print as smooth as possible.
Right.
It makes it, they don't have that roughness. They're a lot smoother and spin a lot easier.
And that way you don't have your layers trying to bond to the peg.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's just, but the pegs themselves having very small layer heights means that the overall shape is a lot smoother.
Hey, Mr. Rutcham. So let's see here. How does that work again? Show.
I was even trying to take the ideal of the the lithophane box of the fire station and do the same thing, kind of for like a dog, like a little dog house. So I'm trying to work on that. Same thing where I can have the lithophane that's stamped out into the shape of the door and would slide in, be backlit and stuff, and you can have the dog's name on the door, on the little sign above the door.
Right.
So I haven't got any further with it, but that rough what I was working on for people that have at least dogs, but pets and stuff. Little, it could be a little memorial thing that they can just set, plug in. It's got a picture of their pet or something like that. I don't know. It's just
My camera died. Yes.
I should look at the time on some of these before I click into them. Looks like my maker coin 9 months ago. That's a thinner version. 10 months ago. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't messed messed with Tinkercad much. My oldest, he likes to play football, so I. And the nice thing is I can size this up for like the CR10S Pro for a 300 length for a bigger thing. But basically, I made a little football field. It's got his jersey number in the center, his names in the end zones.
Uh-huh.
And the original thought was I was trying to work on like a goal post that could mount, like build this up like a little box so that way they can mount in there. But I had gotten him a little one of those little leather footballs. It was for Ohio State, and then he could just kind of set it on there. So, or even if I don't do the holes with the gold post, just the general look of the football field, and you can put somebody's kid's name on there, put their logo in real quick, and then print it out, and they just throw it up on the wall.
Right.
And I even thought you could do the same thing with like a baseball diamond for a baseball field. And depending on what position they play or whatever, you got their number, their name, or something like that. Soccer basically is almost like the football field, but with the soccer goals at the end. Basketball. I mean, it's one of those. It would be great as a little sports thing that a parent could like hang up in their kid's room.
Right.
So that's another project I'm working on. Of course, um, I've already printed one of these out. It came out nice. But again, that's why I like having the little ruler so that way I can check
So
my
when you
positioning.
printed that, did you actually print it as two separate pieces so you had the different colors, or?
No, just I put a
Oh,
pause.
it's raised. Okay, I see.
Yeah, see the base is green and then everything on top is white. So yeah, I mean you could do it as two separate STL files or whatever, but essentially with my Prusa, I can just put a pause command. Well, now even with the updated Marlin that I flashed onto the Creality machines, I have access to do color change or something. Just basically pause, change a filament, go back to printing, and you just basically put those pauses at whatever height you need. But since it's just a simple two color, that makes it easy.
Right.
But even like with like say the baseball one with a baseball diamond in the backfield, so you're looking at brown, white, and green, typically, just three simple colors. Um, Basketball, you're looking at kind of a tannish and brown maybe or black. Yeah, black, like a black and a tan, just something that gives you that.
That offset.
Yeah, and being able to take like Inkscape and bring in logos or something like that and convert them, and then just be able to stamp those out or you know put somebody's school logo in or something. Which
Yeah, see, I was watching Brian BVD's video on how he did the single layer with two colors by pausing it and then swapping the filament and then having it do the rest of the print with the other color. And there was another one who was doing phone cases that way. Might have been CNC Kitchen.
I'll say, speaking of school logo, now this was done with ABS, and unfortunately, my settings were off a little bit. I don't think I had enough infill because I started getting like little heat pockets bubbling up. But essentially, doing the layering. Oops.
Nice. That's very nice.
Yeah, so it starts out with a white background, then the blue layer, and then the black. And I also thought like taking a like football jersey or soccer jersey, just a general jersey shape, and same thing where you could just print out like a little jersey with their name on it and stuff. There's just so many cool things that can be done. What else have I dabbled with? More maker coins.
Yeah, I only have one maker coin I designed, and actually I think I did do it in Tinker. Hang on. Share screen. Yada yada yada. Sure, yeah, just share the whole screen. Oh, I think. Oh, I'm not full screen here. That's what my issue is. Okay, never mind. Let me not share screen yet. Remove. Add. There's yours.
Yeah. Now see. So my original Bitcoin, for the most part, has this little tilt on the
Right,
3D.
you were
And
describing that for the spinner.
yeah. Now see, now when I print this by the layer heights and stuff, this part here, the white's actually blue
Right.
because it just builds up, so it'll be blue. But on top it ends up being white. And I was being funny because um, let me see. Um, shoot, James from Print and Play was bringing his Ready Player One arcade cabinet,
Mm-hmm.
and he said if you make your maker coin to be a certain dimension by a certain thickness, like 6 millimeters thick by 50 millimeters or whatever diameter or radius, it would actually fit in the coin slot. So I threw on the back of my maker coin. So I had an Earth and a Murph, 2019, 25 cent, and I had like a little black layer built in, so that way the cutouts would then have a black backing, so that would give it good contrast. Otherwise, it would just be red, and so yeah, there's a little bit better way of seeing it, but so yeah, it just gives it a nice little contrast to see the letters and stuff.
Yeah, we all have to start somewhere. They're making fun of Tinkercad.
I tell you what, Tinkercad is great for quick things.
Or for people like me who are very new to this.
Well, I actually had a coworkers. There was two female coworkers, and they were the one was going to propose to the other. They've been dating a while, and the other one really liked dandelions. And I found this dandelion, but it didn't really have much of a stem. So then I found another stem, and then just basically trimmed up things, combined them together, and then got it to where I could print and glue them together, and they just snapped. So I had the stems in half, and then you put them together, and they would just glue them together. Same thing with the leaves. Got the two halves and put them together. So I made them a handful because what she was doing was she was doing like shoot, where you go looking for things and they give you a list anyway. So basically, find them and each one would have a clue to the next one.
Oh, scavenger hunt.
Yeah, kind of like that. It was kind of cool. It was nice to help somebody. Oh, and yes, the you'll like this. If you haven't heard of everyone else who has um, this is my pit pass, the infamous Pooch and Chuck Hellebeck spool racer, where Chuck was coming in towards Pooch, and Pooch stiff armed him and knocked him off. So I basically, off of the grainy video, I did a tracing and just basically made fun and turned it into a pit pass.
I think I missed that. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's. I think it's up on. You can probably find it on YouTube and stuff. It's hilarious. But I turned it the video and stuff. I just kind of like traced around and turned it into a little lanyard that I could wear. But yeah, that was another fun project. Yeah, so the football idea was originally the name on the side, and then the football would rest between the leather football, mini football would rest between the goal post.
Okay.
Oh yes, my please be patient student driver. I was going to put magnets on to attach to the car while taking the one daughter out for her driving. That way I wouldn't have to put a sticker on the car.
Right. Oh, llama was wrong. This doesn't just fit in here. But yeah, Evadries, I ordered a bunch of them. Oh well, I'll put them in my bins.
Yeah.
What's that?
So I had a raised bed frame. I had a 14-inch bed, or it had 14-inch raise. So you had like roughly like 11-inch clearance underneath it. You can store stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got it off of an auction site, and it was missing one of the legs. So I did some measurement because there was, so I didn't have the screws and stuff. So I made it to where the rails would slide in, and then basically I just modeled a leg and then used gloop and everything to glue it together, and it worked fine.
Out of PLA even?
Mm-hmm. Well, I made it thick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, I had a lot of support, and I made it thick. So like I said, it didn't have any problems. What else? Kind of cool. Oh yes, the helmet shield, lithophane.
Yeah, that was the other thing you were talking about.
Yeah, and this is where I was using and making cutouts, so I could take the lithophane and then stamp it out into the shape that would turn around and slide into the box, which had a lip that was 4 millimeters down, just enough of a lip to catch it. And same thing, the bottom snap fits and could separate, and the lithophane can snap in. And because I had this as a template, I could take any lithophane in that size, and then I could just stamp it and put it in there. So I could literally make them custom for like anybody in the fire
Right.
service or something like that. They had a nice little photo, and then can just
Or if
stamp
they
it
wanted
in
to put
there.
a badge number or something in it, they could.
Oh yeah, I do all kinds of stuff. It's still compiling all the rest of it. I'm going to save it.
Ah.
But yeah, there you go. So you can see like the original lithophane, how big it was, and then I just kind of
Okay.
cropped it out for the area that I wanted to use. And originally I cropped my chief out of another photo, and then I just took a picture of a flag and put it as the background, put them on top, and then created a new photo, and then created the lithophane based on that. But pretty much the same thing.
Ooh. I got some of the new 3D fuel colors here.
It's
It is
crazy when you
nice
go back
to
and look at.
see all these different designs, because not only does it give me ideas, but it shows me really, you know, what the capabilities are.
Oh yeah, back when the spinners, the fidget spinners.
Yep.
So I was working on different designs for like fire EMS and stuff. This was one of them. It's a little chunky. I didn't quite like it. So my logo was originally um, started out as a spinner, or I used it to make a spinner. But like this, like I said, it's kind of chunky with all that open gap and everything. But it was, like I said, allowing me to. I made one with the Star of Life by itself, and yeah, the Star of Life one right here. I don't remember what I was doing with this one. Oh, I was trying to model. I was trying to model the general shape of like those clocks,
Yep. The
and
motor
then that
box.
way, yeah, that way I could I could then model, say, like a large Maltese cross as a base or whatever for a clock, and then just have the clock mechanism, and then I could 3D print new arms that might look like pike poles or something.
Right.
And that was, I had started and I didn't go any further with it. That was 2 years ago. Lots of great ideas. I just kind of,
Yeah, I'm one of those people as well. They start a project, get so far into it, and then get squirreled to something else and forget.
yeah. Red Light was looking for a maker coin, and he was talking about like traffic light and stuff. So I was just playing around, not so much as a maker coin because you can see at 200 whatever distance, it's not small.
Right.
But I was playing around because even the lenses, and this is where like having just either you print thin enough on the filament so that light can shine, illuminate it,
Mm-hmm.
but like a little bit, or even if you had like a translucent, like I had a red and a green, but I didn't have like a translucent yellow. But if I did, this is where like you could have, say, like some LED lights and maybe some, depending on how big you make it, you can literally just use like a little Uno or not Uno, but
A nano
yeah, Nano or something like that, just to
or a
program it,
tiny.
just kind of control it, just to run through, or
Oh man,
whatever.
tiny. They
Yeah,
just released a 4.1 that has got some amazing features, but it also has a RJ45 network cable adapter you can solder onto it. So you can have an Arduino with actual 100 megabit networking.
there's the school logo. There's the new school logo. I was working on trying to separate that out. Hell, I was even taking pictures off the internet. Boy, I did a lot of cropping on that. Well, because I had to layer it.
Right.
So it starts out with white and then red and then blue on the top and then stars. And then originally the stars were sunk in, but then depending on how you hold it, you really couldn't see them. So then I decided to, raise them up, and then I could throw in a hole right there and make it a little keychain.
Actually, keychain is something I started working on for my wife. That Samoyed that I have,
Mm-hmm.
she wants a. I was gonna turn off. Sorry. Uh, I am making an oval that'll be black TPU, and then in the center of it, I was going to have the Samoyed in white TPU with a hole in the
Mm-hmm.
top to make it a keychain.
Yeah, I mean, things like
Well,
this, just taking something simple and just have.
Buttrum's asking questions now.
I haven't.
No, no problem. He's asking, Vince, can you send me that one?
Which one? Because
that was about a minute ago.
you can specify. I have no problem. Because a lot of it is like basically like I'll find images and stuff online, and then I'll just use like Inkscape to take the image and then just get it to where I can crop out and just get the general shape and get rid of everything else.
The American flag one.
Oh, and I guess the question is, does he want? Well, I guess if I send him the bigger one, he can always. Yeah, so you can see how this one did not have the
Yeah, the
stars.
stores are sunken.
Yeah, they were sunk in, which works. Like this here, you can see from the size, that's a pretty large size one. If you're looking straight at it, it wasn't bad, but like keychain stuff. Although I probably would either shrink down the height of the stars, so they don't have to be quite so high.
Or do that single layer 2-color thing on it.
Yeah, I won't even cut the hole because he can cut a hole himself. But I just, oops. I should be able to export. "20 shapes." Oh, the stars. Okay. Yeah, I had to actually tweak the stars. I had to get them to where I could line them up because
He
they
says
didn't
either
look
works.
right. Well, I can send them both. Well, like I said, if I don't put the hole in it, he can just drop a hole for whatever size keyring he wants to use. Export STL and save. And I'll just get that sent off to him.
Okay, let me remove that for the moment, so that way, if you're emailing, nobody else has it.
Oh no, I ain't gonna email it right now. I'll email it
Okay.
after I get off. So yeah, 2 years ago I was working on the lithophane boxes. This is a project. Oh, I just seen it the other day. A bunch like cassettes that had Bluetooth receiver in it, and you could stick it into a cassette deck for an older car. Had a little mic area, a little place to charge it up. Had an internal battery, but essentially, then you can turn an old stereo into a little Bluetooth receiver and play your music to your phone and stuff and calls. And
Whoa. Is that me or is that you?
that might be.
So, can anybody else
Yeah,
still
it's
hear
me.
Vince?
Um,
Oh, there
I
we go.
think I think it's my internet bottomed out for a second.
Yeah.
But
I
I
worry
saw.
about that myself. I'm on a, as I've mentioned before, I'm on a cell phone LTE router. So when I start hearing internet glitches, I automatically assume it's me.
See what else I got here.
And Buttram says thanks.
So yeah, this little case here and little buttons and everything to push on everything, and I was basically turning it into kind of like a little standalone, and you can solder in like the battery fit in there, the control board and everything, and I just have to solder in either a like a headphone jack or solder the wires on and then have the connectors stand out there where you can just plug it directly in into like say like some powered speakers and turn them into little Bluetooth receiver speakers. Oh, the other half of the Millennium finished. Oh man, I don't have any photos, but one of the guys at work, he takes Playmobil vehicles
Mm-hmm.
and he cuts them up and modifies them and rebuilds them with styrene and stuff and turns them into like customized fire trucks and ambulances stuff. So he modifies the chassis and things. So we were talking and he was originally he had some like these little like fans, um, and they had like little wheels for them to roll around, and some of them had broke, and he was looking for some replacements, and not having to order them online from Germany or whatever. So I did some measurements and stuff, and I printed out like a little of little snap-on wheels, and then I modeled off of one of them. Little yellow air packs, so I pretty much got all the measurements and stuff, so they just snap onto the back. And then then I made a model of a New York hook, so that and measured it to find out how big the opening in the hand is for the little Playmobil figures to hold them. So I printed them out some of the little New York hooks. One of his ladder trucks, he wanted like a little control panel to put on there just to look
Just to give it a
sideways.
little more detail.
Yeah, I mean, what he's been doing with it's really cool. I mean, for what he's working with, um, he does a really good job. It's just it's like a niche or niche.
However that word's pronounced. Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Niche.
so like yeah, so like 3 years ago, one of the district chiefs, he had a baby gate and it broke at the hinge area. Had like a
Yep.
little metal pin that went through and allowed it to pivot, and it broke. And I told him, I was like, it would be easy to just take epoxy and glue it back together. And he's like, well, he says, I'm just curious if you'd be able to 3D print a replacement. All right. So I did one in Tinkercad, and because you're kind of stuck with certain basic shapes, it's hard to get a lot of this stuff. But I did it also in Fusion. So at least in the Fusion, I had the beveled edges and everything.
Boop.
So
Oh,
it
we got a Robbie.
Yeah, it looked more like
Hey.
the original.
All right, I'm tired of cleaning up.
It's funny you mentioned that. I'm gonna pop yours out real quick. Hit mine because I did something similar. Yeah. Brave tab, Tinker, share. We have a gate that actually has a capture. This whole side here is the top hinge that bolts to the wall, and our dogs broke it, and the pin also kept coming out the top. So I built this to act as a capture that the rod goes into, and then I just use M3 bolts to bolt it all together, and then that way when the top snaps apart in the future, I can just print a new top.
Yeah.
And then when grouped, and I even, there's the screw holes on the back. So that's why I found it made me chuckle when you were saying that you did yours as well.
Yeah, and I told him I even epoxied his original one back together, and he said I'm actually using the one that you printed. I'm like, okay. I made a birthday cake topper.
It's kind of funny because I modeled one it was a baby gate, but we used it for a dog at where I worked prior to the buyout and stuff. But it was funky because you had to do this like zigzag pattern, it had like a little guide pin or whatever, and you'd have to keep going in this S pattern and then lift it up and down and over and all kinds of stuff. And so to go through the gate was a complete pain in the butt. So I just remodeled it to just make a simple L shape. So all you had to do was lift it up a little bit and swing it out, and then people could get in and out of there really quick. Still keep the dog in.
All of our baby gates, they're dog gates. We don't have any babies in this house.
Nice.
Yeah,
now I
this is
can't
what I
find
thought
that
about,
file anywhere.
like taking like a uniform, silhouette of uniform, and then convert it, just make it something where a little personalized thing that can hang on the wall. So like like if you had a football jersey, she played basketball, so this is what roughly the look, and I think yeah, nothing on the back. Then I was working with. I was going to take that toward the school logo. We already put that down. No,
So and superimpose.
So I would have to. No, I would take the school logo, and then I could make like a little chain or something, and hang down and have the jersey underneath. Maybe
okay.
A year or something like that. So like what year they played, and they could just hang it on the wall. Again, it's just great ideas. I just didn't do anything further with it because I'm sure like other parents would have loved to. Oops. Have something like that. I'm trying to find the one where I actually designed my own diamond plate pattern. That is definitely not it. But that is the general shape I used for the little fire spinner. No one, he's got the diamond plate. And it actually came out pretty nice. I mean,
Buttram says you need a side gig.
I call myself the $1 million ideal. I always come up with ideals and I just don't follow through with it.
Side hustle, man.
Yep. That's what I'm working on. Actually makes me wish I designed this myself because I got a ton of people asking for them now.
There you go.
Ah,
So
okay.
I started out with one, and then I had to like get things after finish just compiling. But essentially, after I got them cut and angled the way I wanted to, and then I had to turn around and then position them in such a way to make a pattern sheet.
That you could
Then
just repeat.
yeah, and then I could just take it and line it up.
You
Then I could
firefighters and your dang diamond plate, man.
then I could take that and then I can overlay it onto an object and just get it merged into it, and then I got my diamond plate pattern.
Yeah, I have to agree with Buttram on this one. That seems like a lot of work.
It was. Well, I mean, once I got the thing, the
Yeah,
worst
once you
part
got
was
one.
well, once I got, say, like this part here, just got a couple lined up, and then it was just basically repeating. But yes, it was a pain in the butt.
Yeah, and some people don't realize that it'll like so if you duplicate and move something over and then you duplicate it again, it'll move the next part over that same amount. So it just keeps repeating. So it makes it way easier to do a pattern
Oh
like
yeah,
that
and
without having
that's
to
why.
actually individually space them all out and everything.
Yeah, and
And
that's why I like that ruler.
That was actually annoying me because I didn't realize that was the purpose of it. I kept
Oh,
pasting
yeah.
something and I kept
Yeah.
having to realign it.
Yeah, it also
Now
real
I
handy
know.
like if you're doing like gears or something, where you're doing
Mhm.
and you're rotating shapes, then you're getting the same degrees for each one that you do. Of course, you got to get it right the first time because if you don't, well, then everyone's going to follow suit.
Which is what I always ended up in.
Yeah.
The youngest wanted like a little locker for her littlest pets and stuff to play with, so I started trying to just make a general locker, and it kind of works. But the problem I'm working on right now was the pin and hinge. The only thing I hadn't thought about trying to do was like a print in place or something.
Actually,
I mean, they've been fun projects.
oh yeah.
Some been pretty good challenges. But yeah, I mean, like this was just a simple cake topper for Tyler on his birthday, and again I printed it with a color change for the text of his name. So I just had his jersey number, had his name.
I was going to say, the kid's 48.
Why didn't I?
I'm assuming did you draw that and then extrude it, like import it as an SVG or something?
No, I just used the text and then.
Wow, their text is that rough.
Yeah, there's settings you can do to try to round out some stuff, or like change the number of surfaces.
Yeah, like that number 8, how octangular that is. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, now if I would
real faceted.
They have a limited, like 4 or 5 fonts. I mean, they really don't have much of a selection.
Yeah. I almost always end up doing stuff in Corel, and then I'll export it out and import it into Tinkercad. That way I can get whatever the hell font I want, and then just extrude it. And
I've started doing that with Illustrator myself.
Yeah,
because I'm already doing it in Illustrator for my vinyl cutter.
There, so
the only thing I've noticed, and I don't know if it's a Corel thing or what, but there's a resolution, or it's like some kind of resolution you can assign to the SVG when I export it.
Yep.
And if I import it, at too low of a resolution or whatever, then it gets real faceted. And so the downside of that is anytime I import something, it's always like way larger than what Tinkercad workspace is available, and I have to scale it. But that's not a huge deal because in Corel, I can have it tell me working in millimeters. So if I know it's like 10 millimeters, I just tell Tinkercad size it to 10 millimeters, and it does it proportionally.
Yep, that's what I do in Illustrator as well.
Okay, yeah. So it's obviously not just a Corel thing, but
Nah, it's because I use SVGs also for doing my day job. I build dashboards for the monitoring I've designed, and I've had an issue with sizing when importing them into different browsers. And then I discovered the whole issue was I wasn't defining that size properly.
oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, see, I never really used SVG until I started messing with 3D printing and trying to convert stuff, get my vector work converted over to Tinkercad or Fusion or whatever. So
the part I hate the most is pulling something I did in Photoshop into Illustrator and then into Tinker.
Yeah.
So you can see how, like, even just a general circle, it's a little chunky.
Yeah, you can change the sides, and then there's
So
JT came up with a trick where you duplicate that and just rotate it like 1 degree.
Uh-huh.
And then you do that again, and it'll create even less facets when you weld it all together. Because there's still facets even on that, so you can get like a perfectly smooth circle by tricking it that way, which is a pretty nice little trick he's got.
I wonder if he has a video on that or anything.
He does, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, are you familiar with JT?
Yeah, actually, I was just on his stream earlier today.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Or was that today or yesterday? I don't remember now.
Well, him and I haven't usually do streams on Monday mornings, but man, I've not seen them in a while. Am I not getting notifications? I just realized that.
Yeah, 18 hours ago, 7:15 p.m. last night.
But yeah, he's got a video on it with a little trick on how to do that.
I'll have to go watch that.
There you go. This is a throwback, Robbie. You and Brian will probably remember this when Ben Craig was trying to print something for Xander in that little toolbox that somebody created.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Had so many problems. And I was able to actually fix it.
Well, good. Good. Your workspace looks a lot like mine, where I keep several versions and iterations, and takes like a half an hour to load the damn file because there's so many pieces, parts in there.
Yeah. I need to like have a separate original and then have the work area, and then I can always go back and forth. But yeah,
so a lot of times I'll do that when I make something public, then I'll just duplicate it and then make the copy, the public one, strip all the crap out of it. But I'm just glad that Tinkercad lets you put stuff outside of the work zone, because if you were stuck to putting stuff in that little space, I'd be screwed.
Yeah, this thing was a pain because by the time it was all said and done, like modeling the cut through for 3mm filament, and I then just kind of put screws to hold it in, and then getting it have his name on there, and then I was working on a kind of a modified little hinge to be able to pop it open, because I don't think the original one did. And I think this was a push button hinge that I snagged off of a Pokemon deck that somebody made. It was simple design, just using like a spring from a pen.
Yeah.
So that way, when you push on it, it'll pushes it through enough to allow it to pop open, and then springs back to lock. But yeah, I mean it's pretty much my things I had worked on in Tinkercad through the years.
Cool.
Well, I'm hitting that point where I'm probably gonna have to log out for a bit. I got a room I need to get cleaned out so I can get my wife's drafting table / painting area set back up.
Oh, no worries. I probably need to get back to cleaning this place too.
She wants to get back to doing things like.
Cool.
She had fun print. I printed that and she painted it and had fun doing it. So, and we're almost at the 2-hour mark anyways, and I'm still a small enough channel. I don't want YouTube to give me issues.
There you go.
So, you all take care. I will say something on Twitter when I'm back online.
Okie dokie. See you guys.